Hi, welcome to this little video series on living from the heart or having love in different areas of life, how to incorporate that. And so this is about love and meditation, or like doing meditation with a heart center in it. And there's so many meditative practices out there that are predominantly cognitive, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think they're still very valuable, and it's very valuable to those. Now, part of the thing is, if you're gonna look at like getting into your heart center and the power that's associated with that, there are some fairly good reasons for practicing meditation with the heart as the focus. And so the gateway that the heart produces is, like I've talked about, interdimensional, goes to the cosmos and beyond, goes to the cosmic mind, the cosmic heart. So it's everything that you can imagine, outside of time, outside of space, interdimensional. And not only that, though, it amplifies our abilities. And so as we move into this ascension process and we start having stronger downloads and more energies coming through the planet, there's a higher vibration in the planet. We're going through this ascension process. Meditating on your heart is going to become very commonplace because it's going to be the gateway, the doorway, the portal for like astral projection, out of body experiences, high vibration lucid dreaming, and then even going further beyond that to interdimensional travel, teleportation experiences, levitation experiences, and so on. And so it really is a gateway to much higher power, infinite knowledge, and all of those great things. Yeah, going to like Akashic records and that type of stuff is really important as well. And so there's a couple things that really help like facilitate this process. And first of all, relaxation is paramount. So you've got to have really a high level of relaxation, like in throughout your head, like all the micro muscles in your head. I've talked about this in other videos. And so it's really key to be relaxed. And partly the reason that is because we're going to have two types of surrendering going on with this. So the first thing is we are essentially surrendering the ego, if you want to call it. Some people say you're surrendering your ego, but we're surrendering our cognitive awareness. We're surrendering like our brain, like our basically, as we have our thought energy field is typically located in this area, we are surrendering that and we are moving that process down to our heart center, and then we are surrendering to the heart field. So you've got it like, so we're letting go of the cognitive awareness, we're letting go of our cognitive perception, which basically means that we don't need to worry about like focusing on any types of thoughts. We don't need to really none of that matters. You're essentially letting that go. Now, if you still have like kind of the monkey mind going, really that's okay too. Just surrender it as much as you can. Bring your focus down into the heart chakra area, the heart center area, that energy center, and then surrender to that field, to the heart field, and let that field expand and overtake your cognitive awareness, or your thought energy field, as they call it. Let the heart field overtake and overcome, if you want to say that, or swallow up or encompass your thought energy field. Now, the heart energy field is already massive. I mean, it goes out to the cosmos already. So what we're doing is we're tuning into it, okay? So this is a meditative process that's hugely about surrender. So there isn't really a big agenda on there. Now, you can throw intentions out there, and that's fine. But the biggest intention is to let the heart field, which is connected to universal consciousness, the universal mind, to let that guide the meditation or guide the experience that you're going to have. So it's totally unpredictable, because there could be all kinds of stuff that the universal mind wants to get to you and get through to you, and so it's important to surrender to it 100% completely, and then let it take you where it wants to take you. And so that's really the key, is letting that process go. But then if you are in that process and then you find yourself back in your head and you start thinking about anything that might be like cognitively related, just simply come back into the heart space and resurrender to it, and that's fine. You can really go through that process. Now, this is a great time to experience guides, essentially, like interdimensional guides, higher beings, beings of light, divine beings, and their interaction with you, their assistance with you, and you can put that out there. That's really good, to make that intention or to put that request out there. And then as you surrender to the heart energy field, you make your consciousness available for them to interact with easier. It's easier for them to get through to you. It's easier because you raise your vibration significantly, and then your conscious awareness, it melds with the universal awareness and then brings you up to a plane that's easier to interact with them, and then the universal mind. So there's a switch that takes place, because when you're doing this, this could be like high vibration lucid dreaming, it could be astral projection, it could be all kinds of consciousness projection. There's a switch that happens because we still want, like, and that's even a dangerous word to say you want anything in this process, because essentially it's so much surrender. The want is really not there. But you do maintain a perception, like your own, like consciousness, your own point of view, if you will. But the difference is though, when you surrender to the heart energy field, your point of view becomes universally connected, and it's a much higher or more elevated point of view. It's kind of like your super self or your true self or your soul self. Some people say your higher self. That's really the point of view that you start to take on when you surrender to the heart field. And so how you perceive things, how you perceive your life, your past lives, your future lives, your relationships may radically change in this awareness. But it's important, because as you surrender into the heart space and then it envelops your consciousness, that switch happens where your kind of ego just kind of hangs out and is kind of just whatever, just hanging out around the body or whatever it's doing its thing. And you are now kind of more energy body focused and higher self focused, and now you're connected more with the universal mind, and you're free to perceive things that the ego does not have the ability to perceive. And you will perceive them from a level of unconditional love and different levels of unconditional love that the ego really just doesn't really have the ability to process. And so, or the cognitive mind, you're outside of space and time, and the cognitive mind isn't really ready for that. It's really not there until our vibration dramatically increases on this planet. So this is kind of the process. Now you can incorporate a lot of things in this, and I will say that breathing is important. Yes, I mean, you definitely want to breathe and be relaxed. Energy channeling is very important. So like, however you feel like you need to channel your energy, I typically do the like circular thing. But the difference in this though is the culmination of the energy channeling is the heart center. So it's not necessarily the dantian, it's not necessarily other things about, like, it's not really going to be your third eye, it's not going to be any of that. It's really going to come down to your heart center. And part of that reason is because if you continue to bring the energy there, then your conscious awareness starts to focus on that, and then you expand out. And you unite with the incredible heart torus field around us. And then if you want to get really serious about this, you can imagine them counter rotating. You can imagine the vibration going up, the pulsing going up, and you can do something similar to like a Merkaba meditation. But the key though is surrendering away from the mind and then surrendering into the heart energy, and then let it flow from there. And if you're guided to say raise your vibration or bring in tremendous like divine light, you will know it. You'll be guided to do that. And then you'll be completely shielded in light and love, and then free to interact with higher beings of light and everything. And then free to go up in dimensions and whatever you are guided to do. So that kind of gives you a nutshell of like bringing love into your meditation, bringing the heart center into your meditation process. So please send in any questions and comments that you have, and I welcome you to enjoy this process as much as you possibly can and be prepared for it. It is going to get easier and easier as we get more into this ascension process, which I guess you could tap into it right now if you want to, but it is going to become significantly easier starting next year. But you can do it right now though, especially if you're quite adept at this. You're probably already doing it. So I will see you again.